Did you know that Palm Springs was once a stop on the World Grand Prix car racing circuit? Well, it was, and that's the focus of tonight's Our Desert Past. The first Palm Springs road races were held on a hay bale lined course at the Palm Springs Airport from 1951 to 1958, with city streets used as the straightaways.
They started in 1950 and attracted the biggest names in racing. Carroll Shelby came out, Jack McAfee. They were both champions, of course. They raced Ferraris, they raced Maseratis, and it was primarily at the airport. So they came out with a track along the airport route, and then people would just line up on the sidelines. I mean, it was dangerous.
The races continued into the 1960s after becoming a national car race, and the amateurs and celebrities, for the most part, were left behind.
And they had all sorts of different classes of cars, so different size engines, different categories and whatnot, and a lot of people came out, and this was a big deal. This was on the circuit. Palm Springs was a stop on the circuit for the road races in those days.
But in its heyday, the Palm Springs road race was all part of the Wild West image of our desert oasis. And yes, Hollywood, which was already here playing golf and tennis and polo, came out for the races, most notably James Dean. James Dean took third place in 1955, moving to second place when a driver was disqualified. He was driving a Porsche, but contrary to popular lore, it wasn't the one that he drove in his fatal car crash later that same year. Steve McQueen tested his skills here in the desert, as did Clark Gable. Each year there was a race queen, and like all of our events, past and present, the Palm Springs Road Race had a special place in the seasonal calendar. There were a few attempts to bring the racing world back to the desert. In 1986, retired Formula One drivers who had retired to Palm Springs tried to revive the race, and for a short time in the mid-1990s there was another attempt. But in 1996, after a race had shut down large parts of downtown Palm Springs, it all proved too much for our growing city.
The road race in the 1990s could not sustain itself because it was A, too dangerous, too many people still in Palm Springs, or too many people had come to Palm Springs. It was not feasible to close down all the streets and to cause potential damage to property and people.
So the Palm Springs Road Race has become one more thing, now exclusively a part of our desert past. And if you love stories about our history, visit our friends at the Palm Springs Historical Society for more information. You can call the number on your screen, 760-323-8297, or just log on to the website, pshistoricalsociety.org.